I think it's episode 4. We're going to be going through Genesis 17 through however long I can do. It's Monday, December 3rd. I really wanted to record on December 2nd, Sunday, but it was a little too jam-packed. And, you know, I record these kind of on my off time right now. The spy is watching TV. I was making food for tonight at the Spy's preschool fundraiser. A company donated a lot of bread, so your mom brought a lot of bread home. And what goes great with bread is soup. So I made some clam chowder. Now your mom texted me today saying, "Hey, I hope you didn't make a lot of clam chowder, and I wish you'd see how much I made." I probably made 3 gallons. And it's great, and it's from scratch. And according to your mom, you guys did not eat canned clam chowder last night. Last night I wasn't home. I was giving a talk at UC Berkeley about the job I do to a bunch of kids that want to do what I do. Being said, lately I've been feeling kind of like a phony or a fake. You know, a lot of times with my walk I feel like I'm just not doing well at all. And it's a struggle. It's hard. I think your mom struggles with it too. You know, someone told me something really profound. There are only 2 things that the devil tells people. Only 2 real things, and they're both lies. One of them is regarding sin. Before you sin, the devil says to you, it's not a big deal. And then after you sin, the devil says, that's a pretty big deal. So those are the 2 main lies you'll ever hear, I believe, from the devil, from the enemy. And I don't want to go down the path of free choice and free will and predestination. But if you ever listen to this podcast or this recording, however you find it one day, I just want you to know, don't be so hard on yourself. You're trying as best you can. That's all we can ever do, is try as best we can. If we were capable of being perfect, there'd be no need for Jesus. We're not capable of that. We are imperfect. It started with the fall, and it's ingrained in our genetic code. So that's all I want to say. And I don't know if I should be doing some commentary. Right now we're going to be reading Genesis 17, and hopefully I read to like 22 or 24. I'd like to read at least 5 to 6 chapters each time. So I don't know. Basically, it's going to be we're going to be learning about circumcision and Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot and Abraham and Abimelech. Maybe we'll go as far as the birth of Isaac. We'll see. Maybe get to Abraham being tested. But I don't know how far we'll get. I really don't. What I do know is I had a great weekend with you kids. We took the couch bed out and we watched movies all day. You guys were sick, which wasn't too fun, but secretly, if you ever become parents, secretly it's actually really fun when kids are under the weather, because they're lethargic and they're really cuddly and they don't want to do much, and it's a great time to rest. Unfortunately, I have a cold as well. So I tell people that aren't kids, or, that are adults that have no kids, that I'm just going to have a cold until the last one of you moves out. But don't feel compelled to move out anytime soon. The intermittent breaks are me drinking. I'm having a low-calorie Gatorade. I used to drink a lot of soda. I'm trying to give that up. Because, my mom smoked a lot, and that wasn't good for her, and she died of lung cancer. Her dad, I learned, drank a lot of sodas, and he had a massive heart attack in his mid-40s. And I'm approaching 40, so the namesake took me aside and told me, he's like, Dad, I really don't want you to drink soda. It's not good for you. Evidently, he was listening in on his class, or you were, if you're listening to this, my namesake, you're listening in on a class talking about sugar consumption, and so I'm trying. Sugar is probably the most addictive thing there is. At least the most addictive thing I've encountered. I've never done an illegal drug. So, take that with a grain of salt. You're going to eventually learn that I'm as full of it as anyone else. But I still love you, and you're still my children. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, today I got an email saying that this podcast has been approved. So it's actually searchable now on iTunes, a bunch of other places, I think. The entrepreneur asked me the other day when I was recording what I was doing, so I explained it to her, but I don't think she grasped the enormity of this. I really want to finish this so badly. Really do. We'll see. So let's start. Chapter 17 of Genesis. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am God Almighty. Walk before me faithfully and be blameless. Then I will make my covenant between me and you and will greatly increase your numbers. Abram fell face down, and God said to him, As for me, this is my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. No longer will you be called Abram, your name will be Abraham. For I have made you a father of many nations. I will make you very fruitful. I will make nations of you, and kings will come from you. I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant between me and you and your descendants after you for the generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God. Then God said to Abraham, As for you, you must keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you, for the generations to come. This is my covenant with you and your descendants after you, the covenant you are to keep. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You are to undergo circumcision, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and you. For the generations to come, every male among you who is 8 days old must be circumcised, including those born in your household or bought with money from a foreigner. Those who are not your offspring. I apologize for the herky-jerkiness of my reading. I'm trying to get through a whole sentence, and I don't know if it's going to end or not. It's not exactly really grammatically correct, a lot of these run-on sentences. But who am I to question the Council of Nicaea? Whether born in your household or bought... I got that. My covenant in your flesh is to be an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised male who has not been circumcised in the flesh will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. What a contract. God also said to Abraham, As for Sarai, your wife, you are no longer to call her Sarai. Her name will be Sarah. I will bless her and will surely give you a son by her. I will bless her so that she will be the mother of nations. Kings of peoples will come from her. Abraham fell face down. He laughed and said to himself, Will a son be born to a man 100 years old? Will Sarah bear a child at the age of 90? And Abraham said to God, If only Ishmael might live under your blessing. Then God said, Yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him, and as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. As for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you by this time next year. When he had finished speaking with Abraham, God went up from him. On that very day, Abraham took his son Ishmael, and all those born in his household or bought with his money, every male in his household, and circumcised them, as God told him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and his son Ishmael was 13. Abraham and his son Ishmael were both circumcised on that very day, and every male in Abraham's household, including those born in his household or bought from a foreigner, was circumcised with him. Oh my God. 13 years old and 99. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. While he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day, Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, I have found favor in your eyes, my lord. Do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get you something to eat, so you can be refreshed and then go on your way, now that you have come to your servant." "Very well," they answered. "Do as you say." So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. "Quick," he said, "get 3 seahs of the finest flour and knead it and bake some bread." Then he ran to the herd and selected a choice tender calf and gave it to a servant who hurried to prepare it. He then brought some curds and milk and calf that had been prepared and set these before them. While they ate, he stood near them under a tree. "Where is your wife Sarah?" they asked. "There in the tent," he said. Then one of them said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah your wife will have a son." Now Sarah was listening in the entrance to the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were already very old, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself. She thought, "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Will I really have a child now that I am old?' Is there anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, "I did not laugh." But he said, "Yes, you did." It's kind of like, it's almost like a parent chastising a child. When the men got up to leave, they looked down toward Sodom, and Abraham walked along with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham? What am I about to do?" Excuse me, let me read that again. "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all the nations on earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him, so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord, by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him." Then the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin is so grievous, that I will go down and see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know." The men turned away and went toward Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right?" The Lord said, "If I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake." This is part I really love, because it's negotiating. And the Lord already knows how many people are righteous in this city, in these two cities. And it's interesting, the back and forth. Going on. Then Abraham spoke up again, "Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, though I am nothing but dust and ashes, what if the number of the righteous is 5 less than 50? Will you destroy it then? If I find 45 there, I will not destroy it." Once again he spoke to him, "What if only 40 are found there?" He said, "For the sake of 40 I will not do it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak. What if only 30 can be found?" It's obvious that Abraham knows that these towns are wicked, and they probably can't find 50. So he's going further and further down. It's actually really funny. "Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, what if only 20 can be found?" He said, "For the sake of 20 I will not destroy it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found there?" He answered, "For the sake of 10 I will not destroy it." When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left, and Abraham returned. The 2 angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night, and then go on your way early in the morning." "No," they answered, "we will spend the night in the square." But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to your house tonight? Bring them out so that we can have sex with them." Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, "No, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of our way," they replied. "This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness, so they could not find the door. The 2 men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place." I love that. Get him out. We're wrapping it up. We're going to destroy this whole place. It's done. It's just, it's like something out of an action film. So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, hurry and get out. I can imagine what his sons-in-laws feel about Lot at that moment. Hurry and get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city. But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. With the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished. When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and his 2 daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, flee for your lives, don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away. But Lot said to them, no, my lords, please, your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life, but I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here's a town near enough to run to, and it's small. Let me flee to it. It's very small. Isn't it? Then my life will be spared. And he said to them, very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town you speak of, but flee there quickly, because I cannot do anything until you reach it. That is why the town is called Zoar. He said to them, very well, I will grant this request. Oh, okay, sorry, I reread that part. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities and also the vegetation in the land. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land and the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land, like smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. Lot and his 2 daughters left Zoar and settled in the mountains, for he was afraid to stay in Zoar. He and his 2 daughters lived in a cave. One day the older daughter said to the younger, our father is old, and there is no man around here to give us children. Oh. Hello there, my spy. What's going on? Want to say hi?
Watch with me.
Do what?
Watch with me.
Walk with you?
Oh.
What are we doing? Did it pause?
It was very cool to get him.
Oh, really?
But it's pause.
Oops, unexpected error. I wonder what that is. Huh. Let me see. Do you want to say anything? I'm recording voices. Do you want to say something into the thing?
What?
What?
iPad you mean?
Yeah, this is the iPad. Yeah. Oh, Lordy.
Like, I wanted you to watch.
Want this?
Yeah, I wanted you to watch with me.
You want me to watch with you? Oh, that's really sweet. I'm going to watch it with you.
Because together if you
Together if what?
together with this, it's fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to pause it because the spy wants me to watch cartoons with him. And how do you say no to that? And we are back. Watched about an hour of cartoons, and he fell asleep, which is fine. I love him so much. Love all of you. Love that he walked up to me, held my hand, and said, come with me. It's adorable. Where are we here? Oh, boy. I'm kind of glad he didn't listen to this part. Our father is old, and there's no man around here to give us children. Let's see. Children, as is the custom all over the earth. Let's get our father to drink wine and then sleep with him and preserve our family line through our father. That night they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and slept with him. He was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. The next day the older daughter said to the younger, last night I slept with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight, and you go in and sleep with him so that we can preserve our family line through our father. So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and slept with him. Again he was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The older daughter had a son, and she named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites of today. The younger daughter is also had a son. She named him Ben-Ami. He is the father of the Ammonites of today. Chapter 20. And I apologize. Sometimes I say the chapter, sometimes I don't. So I know it's going to be kind of hard to follow along. Please, bear with me. Chapter 20. Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar. And there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, she is my sister. For a while he stayed in Gerar, and there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, she is my sister. Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. But again, he did this with the Pharaoh, and he said it with Abimelech. But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, you are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman. Now Abimelech had not gone near her, so he said, Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, she is my sister? And didn't she also say he is my brother? I have done this with a clear conscience and clean hands. Then God said to him in the dream, yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. It's a prophet, but he's kind of an idiot. See, this is important, kids. Abraham is this great man of God, but he's still doing the same. He's still fouling up a second time. It's amazing. So, the prophet as great as Abraham told Pharaoh and Abimelech, he lied and said, this is not my wife, it is my sister. Keep that in mind. Even great prophets mess up a lot. Back to the scripture. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all who belong to you will die. Early the next morning, Abimelech, probably angry, summoned all his officials, and when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said, what have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what was your reason for doing this? Abraham replied, I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. And she must have been hot. Think about it. She's 99, and he's still lying about being married to her. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not of my mother, and she became my wife. And when God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, this is how you... I keep forgetting they're half-brother and sister. This is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, save me, he is my brother. Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham, and he returned Sarah, his wife, to him. And Abimelech said, my land is before you. Live wherever you like. To Sarah he said, I am giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female slaves so they could have children again. For the Lord had kept all the women in Abimelech's household from conceiving because of Abraham's wife Sarah. You wonder how long Sarah was in Abimelech's household, because if it must have not have been like a day. I bet it was like for months. Who knows? Chapter 21. Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah, and as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age. At the very time God had promised him, Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him, as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. And she added, who would have said to Abraham and Sarah that Sarah would nurse children, yet I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned, and on the day Isaac was weaned, Abraham held a great feast. But Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham was mocking, and she said to Abraham, get rid of that slave woman and her son, for that woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac. The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. But God said to him, do not be so distressed about the boy and your slave woman. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. I will make the son of the slave into a nation, also because he is your offspring. Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. He set them on her shoulders and then sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a bow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. And as she sat there, she began to sob. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, What is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy as he grew. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the desert and became an archer. While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt. At the time, Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his forces, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me here before God that you will not deal falsely with me, or my children, or my descendants. Show to me the country where you now reside as a foreigner, the same kindness I have shown you. Abraham said, I swear it. Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. But Abimelech said, I don't know who has done this. You did not tell me, and I heard about it only today. So Abraham brought sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two men made a treaty. Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs from the flock, and Abimelech asked Abraham, what is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs you have set apart by themselves? He replied, accept these 7 lambs from my hand as a witness that I dug this well. So that place was called Beersheba, because the 2 men swore an oath there. After the treaty had been made at Beersheba, Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his forces, returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted the tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there he called on the name of the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines for a long time. Let's see. Let's see if we can do chapter 22. See how long it is. That's pretty short. No, it's not. Not really. Let's just hold off on that. I think a lot has happened here. I want you kids to remember that as great as Abraham was, and I'm going to point this out a lot for the remainder of me reading this, but as great as Abraham was, he fouled up a lot. And he did lie to Pharaoh. He certainly lied to Abimelech just because he told the king she was his sibling, his sister. It's not exactly a lie per se, but he did it. It is a lie, actually. I gotta tell you about it. It absolutely is a lie, and be wary of that. There's a lot of things you could say that don't seem like a lie, but they actually absolutely are. I'm sure we'll deal with it one day when you're a little bit older, and especially in what I do for a living. You'll know that there are ways that don't seem like lies, but they are. They're lies of omission. But anyways, I love you. I'm excited to see this podcast online, searchable, even though hopefully no one. I hope people read it. I don't know. I just really struggling with feeling like a fake. I want to be a good person. I want to feel right with the Lord. I don't know. I love you. I struggle with this. I'm sure you will too. We all will. And as always, whatever you do it for the kingdom and for the King. I love you. Bye.
It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made us new. Now life begins with you. Released from my chains, I'm a prisoner no more. My shame was a ransom he faithfully bore. He canceled my debt and he called me his friend. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free washes over me. You have made me new. Now life begins with you. It's your endless displayed on a criminal's cross. And darkness rejoiced as though heaven had lost. But then